What is going on, y'all? V-Rob here. Today, as you guys can see by the title of this video, we'll be talking about the Black Lives Matter movement and all of 2020 as a whole. Now, if you guys are like me, I came into 2020 with some very high expectations. My mindset was a lot of things were going to change this year. In my personal life, I was graduating from high school, taking my next chapter into my own personal life, and you just look at everything else, man. Humanity as a whole, all the things that we were able to accomplish in the 2010s, creating, growing, etc. I know I stand for a lot of people in saying the 2010s were a time that we grew as people, as kids, as teenagers. We drove a car for the first time. We went on our first date. We went all the way through elementary school, middle school, high school. And now we expect the 2020s to be our growing up stage into adult life. And as for humanity, like I said earlier, we have taken a lot of jumps from a technology standpoint, from a healthcare standpoint, from a really everything standpoint. How the world looked in 2010 as opposed to 2020 is very different due to social media, due to technology, due to our knowledge and knowing things so quickly. A lot has changed. But 2020, you guys, has been a whirlwind. People are going to watch the movie 2020 when the movie comes out in however many years, like we did 2012. We believed none of these events could happen. There's no way this could ever happen to us. But unlike the movie 2012, the movie 2020 will be categorized under non-fiction. This year alone, we have seen an entire country on fire, rumors of a new world war, the loss of a true global hero, a global pandemic and financial crisis around the world, the government confirming UFO videos, Kim Jong-un dying, and then it came out that he didn't actually die, the United States sending astronauts to the International Space Station for the first time, not reliant on Russia anymore, all sports leagues being canceled, schools and universities ending their school years months early, and the latest, the murdering of George Floyd. A disgusting, distasteful video of a police killing on an innocent black man. Many people would say that the Black Lives Matter movement has happened or is occurring because of the George Floyd death. To me, it's not the focal reason, it's not the main reason, but it's the final straw. It's the final straw of over 400 years of slavery on this country that we call the United States, the land of the free, the home of the brave. This movement isn't happening just because of George Floyd. It's happening because of Emmett Till, Colin Kaepernick, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., Breonna Taylor, Eric Gardner, the 755 black people who have been killed by cops over the last 3.5 years in this country that we call the home of the free. Things are happening, y'all. Times are changing in this world. Whether it's for better or for worse, I believe 2020 is a transition period for our world. If you guys remember, there were many rumors in 2012 that the Mayans predicted that the world would end in 2012. According to Mayan calendars, they had multiple moments in which the world would end. The world wouldn't actually blow up and end. What it would do would actually transform into a new world. I feel that this year we are transforming into our new world, our new society. You notice, unlike protests in the past that might go on for about a week, a couple days after a police brutality, and it just might be in that one city. It has now been over 2 weeks, and there are still millions of people protesting across the world, in major cities and small cities such as Los Angeles, New York City, Philadelphia, Chicago, Houston, Rome, Paris, London. All of these people are realizing how corrupt our system is. We still have systemic racism to a very high degree today. When you look at the population of the United States, there's over 300 million people that live in this country. 13% of that country is made up of African Americans. Even that concept alone, African American. White people aren't called European Americans. They're just called white or Caucasian. Why do we have to make a difference between white people and then they're African American? Anyways, 13% of this country is identified as black. The population in this country, from a poverty standpoint, Americans that live in poverty is over 50 million. That population, black people, take up nearly 25% of that population. And many people might ask, why is that? We'll take a look at the history. The ancestors of these people were slaves in the 1800s. Their ancestors had to live through the Industrial Revolution, in which major cities, major urban areas were set up for them to not be able to do things, for them to be living in the worst conditions, where the money would go to the best white communities and the best white neighborhoods, and it left the black communities shortless of funds, of good schools, of good housing, of good income jobs, etc. You look in the 1900s, during the Civil Rights Movement, take a look at what happened to Emmett Till. The mother of Emmett Till left open the casket so everyone in this country could see what really happened to him. I warn you, it is a very, very disturbing image. And it symbolizes what racism is really like in this country. It's not just someone whispering, oh, look at him over there. It's not just someone locking their car doors because they see someone of the other race walk by their car. It's the beating, the emotional and the physical beating that we have had in this country towards different races throughout our history, specifically towards people who are black. It needs to end now. It needs to end now. Yes, we have taken great steps. Barack Obama being the first black president in this country was an amazing step. But events like we saw with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Eric Gardner and others are still happening after the Obama administration. I ask you today, how are you going to make a difference in your community? How are you going to be an example to not just be not racist? Oh, I'm not racist. You have to be anti-racist. Take a look at this clip of what what Logan Paul said about racism.
Listen closely. One of my biggest learnings from all of this, and I'm embarrassed that it's taken me 25 years to realize this. It is not enough to be not racist. You have to be anti-racist.
Yes.
Condemn those who feign superiority because of the color of their skin. Friends, hold friends accountable. Hold your family accountable. Hold yourself accountable. And most importantly, we must hold our authorities accountable. Police officers, politicians, policymakers. As Killer Mike said, bully the politicians at the voting booth. Make your voice heard. Attend a protest. Speak up against injustice. If you're white, if you look like me, use your privilege. And for those who do not think white privilege exists, you are fucking blind. You are delusional and you are part of the problem. I can count on 0 hands the amount of times that I have feared for my life at a routine traffic stop. That has never happened. Half of the reason I'm able to get away with some of my hooligan shit I do in my vlogs is because I'm a white kid.
I know we don't agree with what he says, but we are Ohio boys and I had to show some respect. That was a great clip. Now take a look at what another Ohio legend, Dave Chappelle, had to say on what's going on right now.
He says, where are all these celebrities? Why aren't you talking? This nigga said everybody. I was screaming at the TV, I dare you to say me, nigga. So now all of a sudden, this nigga expects me to step in front of the streets and talk over the work these people are doing as a celebrity? Answer me. Do you want to see a celebrity right now? Do we give a fuck what Ja Rule thinks? Does it matter about celebrity? No. This is the streets talking for themselves. They don't need me right now.
I agree with him completely. That is why I haven't made too many videos as of late. These are the streets talking. They're not looking for influencers on TikTok to just make a dance, to just make a short video saying Black Lives Matter, and then going back to shaking their ass. They're looking for people to give them the good news. They're looking for people to not just say one thing and be done with it and post one thing on their story or post a black square. No, this is a movement that cannot stop. This cannot stop. This cannot be over within a month. Not until we get change. Not until we get change. Not until we get justice for everyone and equality for everyone. Saying all lives matter right now is like interrupting Martin Luther King Jr. saying, well, I have a dream too. Why don't we look at what Martin Luther King truly said? Judge someone on their character, not their skin color. Let's start it off in the education system. Why don't we learn more about Black history, not just negotiate it so it's down to just a month? Let's learn more about Mansa Musa, the wealthiest person of all time with a net worth in today's dollars and over $400 billion. Did your U.S. education system ever talk about that? No. He was the king of the Mali Empire in the 1300s. Why don't we tell our kids what it was truly like to be a slave, and how distasteful and disgusting it was, and how big it is in our history, and how much of a lasting impact it still has today? Why don't we show them what happened to Emmett Till? Why don't we show them what it means to show love? Why don't we show them what it means to be equal? And then throughout the entire system, take away ethnic groups and gender selections and when filing out forms. It doesn't have to always be about demographics. It doesn't have to always be about demographics. Not at all. That's how these businesses and companies thrive off of. Advertising, sales, posts, everywhere. It's all based off demographics. We're all one race, the human race. It's time for people to wake up. It's time for us to start using the Gene Elliott blue eyes, brown eyes game on our kids at a very young age and telling them judging someone or discriminating someone because of how they look is not how to do it. We're all God's children. We're all God's children at the end of the day. We all have something to give. And how it starts right now is using your voice, your platform, your abilities to make change in your own community. Whatever it is, a social media post, going out and protesting, voting, etc. Down below I'm going to post links to where you guys can sign petitions for change, for justice, and equality. I just want to throw this in there as well. I don't know if you guys know this performance art. It's called I Like America and America Likes Me. It's about this one German artist, visionary, Joseph Boy. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. But in 1974, he flew to New York City and stayed in a room with a wild coyote for 3 days. The coyote was supposed to represent America's direct feelings of fear and anger, despite not even knowing someone. We see that a lot today in the media and between people. He constantly got bit up, he constantly got attacked by the coyote, but after 3 days, the coyote grew a tight relationship with the man. And they were laying together, eating together, looking outside together. It showed an example of what it means to show love. And if you show love first and don't make first impressions so negative, how you can grow relationships. It's all about being together. Not talking about something, saying, oh, we should do this or we should do that. No, actually being with them. It relates so much towards police brutality. Start a conversation with the police and your communities so we can grow that relationship. We can grow collaboration. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to look into that story, I Like America and America Likes Me. It is very, very interesting. Anyways, y'all, all love.